Okay then, so Smoke on the Water then. So we're going to start off with the probably the most famous riff of all time. Okay, and we're going to play it first of all in the simplest possible way, which goes like this. Okay, so this is going to be played entirely on the D string and the G string. And you'll notice that I'm using my fingers to pluck the string. So even though I'm holding a pick, I'm using that in later parts of the song. For this part, the riff, we're using the middle two fingers to pluck the strings. So we start with the open D and G. We then go on to the 3rd fret of the D and G. Up to the 5th fret, again D and G. Then we have open, 3rd. This time we're going to go to the 6th fret and then back to the 5th fret. Then we have the open again, the 3rd fret, 5th fret, 3rd, open. Okay, now another method you could use is instead of playing the open D and G, you could play the 5th fret of the A and the D. And so you do everything else the same, you just change the open to the 5th fret of the A and D. Okay, and another method that I have seen used, I saw a video of this being played live, and it's very clear when he was doing the riff, he wasn't down here, his arm wasn't down here, it was up here, even though on the video you were seeing his back. His hand was definitely up here, so it did make me wonder if he was doing this. Okay, that with the heavier strings there, it gives a sort of darker sound to it. So this would be 10th fret of the low E and the A string, 8th fret on the A and the D, then the 10th fret A and D, back onto the 10th fret E and A strings, 8th fret A and D, and then 11 to 10 on the A and the D, back up onto the 10th fret E and A strings, 8th fret on the A and the D, 10th fret A and D, back to the 8th fret, and then back onto the 10th fret on the E and the A. And another thing that makes me suspect that he might have played it there was the fact that you can occasionally hear that sound as he's running down into the verse section, which we'll have a look at now. Okay, so the verse section is going to be played using power chords. So the first one we've got is a G power chord. So this is going to be the 3rd fret of the low E string, the 5th fret of the A string, and the 5th fret of the D string. And we're going to play those notes one at a time, and we're also going to have a palm mute. Okay, so that's done 5 times in total. You then go down to an F power chord, so use exactly the same shape, move it down 2 frets. So we've now got the 1st fret of the low E string, the 3rd fret of the A string, and the 3rd fret of the D string. Play those notes one at a time, just the once, before coming back to the G power chord and do that 2 times. Okay, so that's 5 times on the G, once on the F, then 2 times on the G. Okay, so that gives you one round of the verse section, and all you need to do for the verse is just repeat that line 4 times. Okay, so repeat that 4 times in total. We then come to the chorus section, which goes like this. Okay, so this starts with a C power chord then, which is done at the 3rd fret on the A string, 5th fret on the D string, and 5th fret on the G string. And we're going to take the palm mute off now. So we just play those notes one at a time. We then go up to an G sharp power chord, which is 4th fret on the low E string, 6th fret on the A, and 6th fret on the D. And then we're going to play a G chord, which is going to be the 5th fret on the A string, 5th fret D string, the open G string, 3rd fret B string. Okay, leave that to ring for 8 beats in total. We then go back to the C power chord, the G sharp power chord, and then we go back into the riff. Okay, so that covers you for all of the verses, the choruses, and of course the main riff itself. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go along and have a look at the main solo. Okay then, the main solo. So what I'm going to do is break this down into sections and have a look at them one at a time. So the first section goes like this. Okay, so we're going to play 12th fret on the D string, then 10, 12 on the G string, pre-bend the 13th fret of the B string up a whole tone, and then release it. We then have 11 on the B, 12 on the G. We're then going to take the 11th fret of the B string, and we're going to do a blues bend, so just sort of a quarter tone, just to knock it out of tune. The next section goes like this. Okay, so for this we're going to slide into the 12th fret on the D string. We then have 10, 12 on the G string. Play 11 on the B. Then restrike and bend up a full tone. We then have 11, 10 on the B, then 10, 8 on the B, then hammer on 8, 10, 8 on the B string, 10 on the G, 8 on the B, then 10, 8, 10 on the G string. Okay, so all of that section. Okay, the next section then sounds like this. Okay, so start by playing the 10th fret of the G string, then bend that up a whole tone, pre-bend it up a whole tone, release it down to 10 again, and then bend it up a whole tone again. Okay, we then do something very similar on the B string now. We're going to start with the 8th fret, then we go to the 11th fret, play it, again bend up a whole tone, pre-bend up a whole tone, back down to 11, and then bend it up a whole tone. Okay, we then have 8 on the top E string, 8, 11 on the B string. Okay, and then we've got this bluesy run. We're going to start this by bending the 10th fret of the G string up a whole tone. We then have 8 on the B and 8 on the top E. We're then going to go 11, 10, 8 on the B string, 11, 10, 8 on the G string, 10 on the D, then 10, 8, 7 on the G string, 10, 8, 7 on the D string. Okay, so that whole section. Okay, then the next bit sounds like this. Okay, so we're going to start on the 10th fret of the A string. We then have 8, 7 on the D string. Staying on the D, we've then got 10, 8. Going down onto the G string now, we've got 8. We've then got 7 and 5. We're then going to go down to the G string, and we're going to do this. So we're going to bend the string, and I actually bend it down towards the ground. Then release it, adding some vibrato. And then we've got 5, 3, 2, 3 on the G string. Then 2, 3 again on the G. We're then going to do 2, pull off to open, and then dive with the bar and release it. Okay, the next section sounds like this. Okay, so we've got a full tone bend on the 5th fret of the G string, then 3 on the B, 3 on the top E, 6 on the B string bent up by about 1/4 of a tone, then 3 on the top E 2 times. Then we've got 6, 5, 3 on the B string, 6, 5, 3 on the G string, 5 on the D string, then 5, 3 on the G string. And then we're going to bend the 5th fret of the G string up 4 times. Okay, so that section. Okay, and the next section. Okay, so we start here by playing the 3rd fret of the B string, 6th fret of the B, and again with a 1/4 tone bend. Then we have 3 on the top E, 3, 6 on the B. Then we're going to go 3, 6, 8 on the top E. And then bend that note up a full tone. And then we're going to do another tone bend on the 8th fret of the top E. 8, 6, 8 on the top E. And then 8 on the B string. Okay, and then the next section. Okay, so this is going to be 8 on the B, followed by 11 on the B. Bend the 10th fret of the G up a whole tone. Then we have 8 on the B string, followed by 8 on the top E string. then 11, 8 on the B, 8 on the top E, 11, 8 on the B, 8 on the top E, 11 on the B, then we have 8, 10, 11, 13, all on the top E, and then we're going to bend the 13th fret of the top E up a whole tone. Okay, the next section sounds like this. Okay, so this is the 13th fret on the top E, and most of this is going to be done with the 13th fret on the top E actually. So it's 13th fret on its own, then bend up a full tone, release it, play 13 again, pre-bend, play it again, then back down, and then another bend, back down, bend, back down again. Okay, now we go to the 10th fret on the top E, 13th fret on the B, and then restrike and bend that up a full tone. Okay, so okay, the next section sounds like this. Okay, so this is going to be bending the 5th fret of the G string up a whole tone, grabbing the 6th fret of the B string, pre-bending the 5th fret on the G and releasing it, the 3rd fret of the G, then the 5th fret of the G, the 3rd fret of the G with a slight blues bend on it, and then 5th fret of the D string. Okay, and then the next section sounds like this. Okay, so this is the 8th fret on the B string, 8th fret on the top E, 6th fret top E, 8th fret top E, and then play that note again and bend the note up a full tone. And then leaving the note bent, you're going to strike it another 7 times. Okay, you're now going to strike it another 5 times while you slowly release the bend. You're then going to grab the 6th fret of the B string and bend it up a full tone. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that lesson and found it useful. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.